This week, we've got Apex playoff spots still available, Heroes Western Clash is on the horizon, and NA Hearthstone stays connected. This week on the Weekly Blizz. Welcome back this week. I'm Guaz.
And I'm Bags.
And it was kind of a slow week this week in esports. Not too much exciting things happened, but still, there were plenty of events to talk about. But first, let's get into our first segment, which is our week in gaming. So, Bags, how was your week?
My week was relatively uneventful. Lucio came out in Heroes.
Yeah.
I did not purchase him, so I did not get to play him. But
you don't want to be a two-trick pony?
one of our friends got Lucio, and he seems really strong in the right hands. I did get to try him on the PTR a little bit the week before, and he's tricky because you got to know when you want to be in the speed boost aura and when you want to be in the healing aura and make that adjustment.
Just like in Overwatch.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I haven't had a chance to really play him in a match setting.
Right.
But he seems fun. I did make a purchase. Who did I get? Gosh, I forgot.
I remember you playing somebody new too.
Yeah, I know. I got 10,000 gold and I bought someone. Zul'jin. I bought Zul'jin.
Tazdingo!
Yes, that guy. Which is I did get the Tazdingo the core too. That Becca had been saying that it's the best thing in the world when you go for the win and you just stand and eat core shots and use Tazdingo and then just absolutely crush the core before you die.
Yeah.
And I did get to do that once, so that was a lot of fun. So he's fun. I mean, he brings me back to like some of the days when I played League, and I would play like auto attack heroes, and he kind of brings me back to that. And he's got the neat the way he plays is, he does more damage and attacks faster when he's got a lower health pool. So it's also, I don't know, he's another guy you got to find the right balance. You got to find because when you're at full health, you're not really doing any damage at all. So you got to find the right balance where you want. I don't know, I was like a little bit above half health was where I felt comfortable enough that I wouldn't die, but I was able to actually throw out some
and hope
some
you have a good support player that pairs well with him too.
So that's the other thing is I
knows what they're doing.
I was playing Zul'jin while Becca was playing Lucio.
Yeah,
and it kind of worked out well because I just stayed in the Berserker where every time you attack you lose a percent of your health
goes down.
Yeah, I was using his trait and it kind of just balanced out because I would just get healed up by the healing tick from the Lucio aura, and it was kind of like I was just constantly doing a little more damage that when I was just regularly attacking because for whatever damage I was doing to myself, I was getting healed up right away. So that was fun. So that more or less kind of sums up my week in gaming. We got a couple of the guys from the old WoW guild to play with us too, so it's looking like we might actually get some...
Whoa, the WoW guild still exists. You just abandoned it. Okay? You took your toys and you left.
Well... we got some old buddies from the old playground to bring their toys over to us and play with me in my new sandbox. So I'm hoping maybe at some point we can get some team league going.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
So that was about my week. How'd yours go?
They're about the same. Yeah, we did get to play some Hearthstone. Heroes. I did start playing Hearthstone again though. Mm-hmm. Like watching the winter playoffs, I'm like, man, kind of want to bust out that old my old Shamlock deck that just aggravated you, but I have so much fun with.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, Shaman with Murlocs, I love it.
Shaman's the deck with anything can happen, right? That 10 mana, every Murloc that died this game.
Oh no, that's Paladin.
That's Paladin?
Yeah.
Okay.
Shamlock has Shaman has. You can bring out 4 1/1 Murlocs. It has Bloodlust too, so then you just bump them up so that they're 4/1s.
Yeah.
And a couple other cards that pair well. I wish it had anything can happen, because I'd just bring back all of them again and be like, aha! March of the Murlocs.
There you go. In Hearthstone.
Yeah,
I haven't played in months.
Basically, everything I do though revolves around Murlocs because I love them so much.
I played ranked in December and January. I don't think I've touched it since.
I actually missed January's ranked play and I didn't get the card back, and I was like, the card back was but I just wanted just to have it, and I completely spaced somehow in 31 days. I'm like, okay, I missed that completely.
I need to get back in there.
Yeah,
because I've only got a week left.
Yeah,
for February.
February. But luckily, like, things are changing though too in Hearthstone,
and so we should be getting a new expansion shortly, right? So
well, they announced that too. Also, that now they're changing it up so that instead of what we would get 2 expansions and then an event or whatever.
You get what it was is you got an expansion, then an adventure, and then an expansion. Yeah, and an expansion would be now it's 130 cards.
Yeah, well, now it's going to be 130 card expansion still, but each quarter of the year. So
they're doing what I read is they're doing 3 expansions a year now.
Yeah.
Right. So instead,
but it starts in quarter 2, so it's basically because they don't do anything in this first part. So so it's basically each quarter, and it's Year of the Mammoth this year. Yeah, so that'll be fun.
They announced that, and
so bye Jade Druids
and
boring deck.
And each expansion is going to have like some sort of solo campaign to kind of like fill in that adventure void.
Basically combine them too, but I think it'll be better that way.
So,
but yeah, I did that. Played some. I think I've retired again from WoW. I've realized that I'm getting on, and at first I was just getting on just to do the emissary quest.
But if you're not doing anything, then what's the point of that?
That's the problem. That's gotten less and less. And then I think I logged on the last couple of days. I log on. I'm like, I don't want to do these. And then I see how much the tokens are because I haven't paid for WoW, and I don't even know how long I've just been getting tokens. But I've finally depleted my stash, and now with the way they change tokens, they're more expensive. So I see how much they are, and I'm like, I've depleted all my gold stash, and since I hardly haven't been playing, I haven't been building up more. Like I'd buy a token, and then throughout that month, as I'm doing the emissary quest, I would just farm ore and herbs and stuff, and then sell it, and I'd make that back and rebuy another token. But since I haven't been playing, I'm like, well, I don't feel like actually paying this month. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens there. And then the other day, I was helping our buddies Morph, Senny, Chelsea. And,
Senny is going to appreciate that. You
finally mentioning you. And Bran get the mount from the WoW Heroes event. So, which, I mean, honestly speaking, I was a bit disappointed with the mount that we got in Heroes.
Yeah, the Heroes mount is kind of crappy.
I mean, we have that mount already. Just it's like the 3rd variation of it.
Yeah.
So I was pretty disappointed. And I mean, the Fell Saber mount or whatever the heck it's called, I already have it. Just the Demon Hunter version of it. And now this one's just all fiery. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I have it. But I think first in the guild too. So
take that.
Take that. Everyone in the guild that actually plays and I don't. But yeah, that was basically my week in gaming. So
all right,
not much else.
All right, well then let's
hop into the news.
Let's dive in and talk about what we're paid to talk about, even though we don't get paid.
Exactly. So let's move on into Overwatch.
It's high noon.
Okay. So Overwatch, we had Apex continue last week, and now I touched briefly on 2 of the matches that happened last week, just because we got delayed in our recording. Previous week. But I'll just go into a little bit, not much in depth, but a little bit of those 2 matches. Because they actually had huge impact on what's going to happen moving on. So on first day of games, we had a Freak of Freaks Blue versus Cloud9. Freak of Blue won 3-1.
Whew.
It was, it was fun to watch though.
Yeah, okay.
Both. An interesting fun fact though is that both teams have an Adam on their team. Cloud9 has their support player Adam, and a Freak of Blue has Adam as a tank. So they kept having to say Cloud9 Adam and Blue Adam to differentiate between the two. Blue Adam died here. Cloud9 Adam.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny because I think they just realized that too at that moment. They're like, oh crap, wait, we have to do this.
Yep.
But so first map had Lijiang Tower. The first point on it was Village, which was very back and forth with Cloud9 eventually taking it. But then after that, a Freak of Blue was standing very strong. And the second point, they had the point up to 90%. Cloud9 comes in for one final attack, and they actually push a Freak of Blue off the point, but then they forget to step on it. So it just keeps ticking up, gets to 100%, and then they're like, they look back, oh crap. It was one of those moments where seriously they could have they pushed him off. They could have just had one person hit Adam, Cloud9 Adam, stay back on Lucio and just capture it, but
it didn't
happen.
Yeah.
Third point, then they go. A Freak of Blue takes the point, and they never let it go. They had a very very nice Zarya Pharah combo where all of Cloud9 came in through the side point, and Zarya throws out her her Graviton Surge, and Pharah just flies up and ults down, and bye-bye Cloud9. So map goes to Afrika Blue. Go to Numbani. Cloud9 had a very quick first point cap, and then they were able to take the next two. Afrika Blue had a very quick first point cap, but Cloud9 had a strong defense a little bit before that third point on Numbani, like coming around that turn. So they were able to tie up the series 1-1. Go to Volskaya. Cloud9 took the first point without any trouble at all. They just pushed right in, able to take it. But then Afrika Blue had a strong defense, and Cloud9 ended up taking the second point with only 47 seconds left.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like they forgot to play defense, though. When it swapped around, Afrika Blue just came in. I think the only time they paused, they took a breather, was they just put everybody on the point to capture it. Like they came in on the first push, said get out of here, took the first point, captured it all together, went back in, kept split resing Cloud9, and took the second point with over 6 minutes left.
Wow.
Yeah, it was that was actually pretty amusing to watch. Tiebreaker, Cloud9 looked good, but then when they were taking the second point, they were all on it, and Afrika Blue threw out Diva's ult, and instead of just having one person sacrifice themselves, because it was down to a sliver in overtime, instead of having one person sacrifice themselves to get that little bit, they all scatter off the point, and overtime ticks down. So that was it. They didn't get the first point. On defense, Mendo was a stud on Soldier. He just kept deleting everybody. They ended up wasting over 5 minutes of Afrika Blue's time.
Wow.
Time bank on that first point, but Blue ended up taking both points and winning the map. They go to Gibraltar. Wasn't that great, honestly, from either side, but Afrika Blue whipped out a Bastion on defense and held Cloud9 to only 1 point just before the second point, and then they were able to take them out easily and just push it that little bit further and win the series.
It's always nice to see Bastion come out and get a little play.
I disagree.
Because
especially with his changes coming up.
And it lets me know that the little guys like me can have a dream and have a dream and hope and believe that someday they'll make it, Point and click, baby. Point and click.
So anyway, next match was Fnatic versus FlashLux. Fnatic, that was their first win, 3-1. Ilios, Fnatic was able to flip the point on the first point. They were able to flip it at 99% and ended up winning it.
Wait. Now I worked all weekend, so I didn't get to see all this. I'm understanding this, FlashLux got the point to 99% and then lost it.
Yep.
Throws for days, baby.
Throws for days. Then on the second point, Buds from Fnatic was on Widowmaker, and FlashLux couldn't stop him. He kept, grappling to other points, getting headshots. Yeah. They ended up switching one player to Genji to counter him, but that was it. And they couldn't counter him still. So Fnatic takes that map. Go to King Row. FlashLux looked better, but they weren't able to get all 3 points. It was actually pretty close. Fnatic looked actually like sloppier on attack, but they were able to get all 3. It was they looked sloppy, but they had key wins in team fights that they were able to push that whole point. Go to Volskaya. Both teams ended up taking both points, with FlashLux having 4 minutes left and Fnatic having around 3 minutes.
Okay. In
the tiebreaker, Fnatic was only held to the first one though, and FlashLux was able to take both. So that was their one map win. Go to Dorado for the final point, or final map of the series. Fnatic was held just before that third point. When you're going through Dorado, that third point where that truck is on the side inside the hangar, inside the garage type area.
Yeah.
That's where the payload got to, and the end of it is not much farther than that. Mm-hmm. But then swap it around, Fnatic on defense, they had a full first point hold, so win the series, and that was good for them. They needed that. Next day of matches weren't actually that
competitive.
Great. Yeah. You had BK Stars versus MVP Infinity, and BK swept them 3-0, which everybody expected BK to win, just not to 3-0.
Yeah.
But Infinity honestly didn't look great. And that match was actually, both teams were 0-2, and that match would actually decide who would be relegated for Apex Season 3.
Gotcha.
So Infinity will have to battle in a relegation tournament now to be able to compete next season. That match actually seemed similar to European Hearthstone. There were a couple computer issues, a couple DCs too, even though it's LAN, but there were DC issues, computer issues. They actually had to replay Hollywood, which actually stunk for them because BK was about to take the second point
Yep.
on Hollywood, and then you just see Roadhog whole hogging, but just running in place. And then on the other side, you see Reinhardt. Like Reinhardt is basically running like this in place too. Yeah, with his hammer up. So, and you see both players who were playing those. You just see them go, throw their hands up like, oh, come on, again.
Yeah.
Because they just had to face an issue before that, so they had to replay it. Both teams had first point holds, so they had to go to Nepal for a tiebreaker. That was very close. It was BK ended up winning it, but it was close, 99 to 98%. So it kept going back and forth. You would take it, but BK won it. And then on Temple, BK held MVP to only 1 point. They took their whole time to try to take the second point, and they couldn't. And then BK took it with, I think, about in 4 minutes, able to take both points on Temple of Anubis. So that was
that's pretty quick.
Yeah, extremely quick for that to happen.
Wow.
Next match was LW Blue versus Afrika Red. Again, Afrika Red was the worst team in that group. LW Blue swept them 3-0, which basically went as expected. There's not much really to talk about that whole matchup. So I believe Afrika Red will have to battle for relegation also. But now this actually sets up, with how these matches played out, this actually sets up a very interesting event, basically, of who will actually get out of 3 of the groups. Group A is Meta Athena and Envious. They're making it out. Their match on Friday will just determine seeding for 1 and 2.
Okay.
But Group B, which was actually considered Group of Death, that's the Lunatic High, LW Blue, Misfits group.
Okay.
That was considered the Group of Death. If Misfits 3-0s Lunatic High, which is a uphill battle for Misfits to do, but if they do that, that actually sets up a 3-way tie between those 3 teams. So that's actually going to be it's going to be interesting to watch, even though now how I was looking at it, if Misfits 3-0s, they'd actually be up in points because they'd have 12 while the other 2 have 11. But I was reading how they're going to break down everything else, and there's a bunch of tiebreaker scenarios. I believe LW Blue's only loss was to Lunatic High also.
Okay.
And Lunatic High plays the worst. Or sorry, LW Blue plays the worst team in the group too, so they have no problem. But yeah, that's gonna be very interesting. And then in Group C, you have Cloud9 has to beat Kangdu Uncia, which is another uphill battle. That's the best team in that group, one of the best teams in the league for this season too. And if they don't beat Uncia, they're not making it out of group.
Okay.
So that has to happen. There's another. In Group D, there's another event that has to happen, is Fnatic has to beat Runaway.
To make it out.
They're both tied. So for whoever wins, because Kangdu Panthera, they can just not show up to their last game they're in. But whoever wins between the Fnatic Runaway match will determine second place from that group.
And it's to make sure, I've got it all straight. For Apex, it's similar to like the World Cup with soccer. Top 2 teams from each group make it out to the playoff.
Correct.
Okay.
So yeah, basically only Group A is decided of who will make it out. Right. Just seeding has to happen, and then groups B, C, and D have to. A lot of things have to happen.
A lot of things. Matches still have to be played for seeding to be determined. So this week,
at the time of this recording, tomorrow's matches and then Friday's matches are crucial.
Okay.
I mean, besides
exciting,
I just want to watch Envious because one, they're my favorite Overwatch team. Yeah. But I want to see the seeding.
I wish you know what it was. I mean, it's played in Korea, and I wish we could have some.
Yeah.
Overwatch League, we need it.
Well,
we need it now.
Blizzard, get on that. Sorry, I'm still sick.
It's just that the time it's tough because you can only really watch VODs,
Yeah, I know. It's like I mean, it's nice though because
it's funner to watch live. It's hard to watch a VOD. It's not the same.
Yeah, I basically because I have the updates too on my phone, so I have to shut off the updates before. Like if it's like some of the teams, I'm like okay, like I just want to see who wins. I'll keep it on. But for like Envious, Cloud9, and some of the Korean teams, like both Kangdu teams, I had to shut off the updates because I don't want it to be spoiled. So if I'm working out in the morning or like whatever, even if I'm working in the morning, I'll still have it on in the background and try to listen at least just to see what happened. It does kind of stink because these matches are played at like 4 a.m. our time.
Yep.
So
more on that later.
Come on, Blizzard, get on that. So yeah, that's it for
Overwatch this week.
Overwatch. So why don't we move on over to Heroes of the Storm.
My specialty.
Greetings, friend.
Well, this week in Heroes, the Korean HGC, the match of the week was L5 versus Tempest, which L5 won 3-1. Other than that, Supreme Mixtape is now known as Team Blossom.
They got picked up by an org? Or they just changed their name?
Not 100% sure. Not a lot of information on that currently. Just pulling that from Master League,
right,
where it's all 5 players switched over to a new team.
That's another thing about all this stuff happening in Korea too, is that it's very hard for us to get information about what's happening.
Yeah, so it's always a little tricky to follow.
Yeah. That's why we're here.
After this week's matches, L5, MVP Black, and Tempest are all officially qualified for the Eastern Clash, which will be in 3 weeks. I'm not 100% sure how they're determining the other 3 teams that are coming from China or Taiwan or SEA.
Right, yeah, because again, we're not getting information about
Gold
Gold
League.
Gold League?
Gold League or Gold Series. No idea what's going on with that right now. But the big showdown this week coming up is Friday at 4 a.m. Eastern. The L5's playing MVP Black this week, which is going to be intense. Basically, more or less, the top 2 teams in the world are playing each other.
No, not the last 2 world champs. Last one in
the
ago.
Spring champ. Yeah. One literally like a year ago.
Yeah.
But basically, arguably the 2 best teams in the world will be playing each other. So that's going to be really exciting.
2 BlizzCon champs.
Moving over to the EU region, the final week of the regular season before Western Clash took place. Nothing too exciting. Teams that were expected to win won. All the matches. There were no matches on Sunday, and the matches that did happen on Saturday were all 3-0 massacres. So
that's a good way to put it.
That being said, on Friday, Tricked nearly upset the undefeated EU team Misfits.
That was pretty shocking.
Unexpected. That was probably the best thing that happened this weekend in Heroes. They took Misfits to a full set of 5 games. Yeah. And
I think I tuned in when I saw that it was 2-1 because I expected a 3-0. I'm like, oh my God, put this on.
So let's see what's going on.
Yeah.
Right? And
is this a joke?
But that being said, at Game 5, Misfits took it to them and kind of rubbed their noses in it a little bit because I don't know if maybe they were just like not trying. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah.
But in Game 5, they really took it to them and reminded them that
they're the best.
They're the best team in EU.
And to really show that, they even had, I believe it was Haswab's take out Lost Vikings, and he's like, we'll win on this.
Yeah. So really just absolutely rubbed their noses in it. That was yikes. But other than that, it was a quiet week. Like I said, there were no matches on Sunday. So quiet week in EU, also quiet week in NA. There was no changes, or sorry, no upsets in the NA region either. Yeah. The standings for the most part stayed pat. Teams with winning records won, teams with losing records lost. There weren't really any exciting matches.
Saturday I saw another 2-3-0s.
If Tempo Storm would have lost to Superstars, that would have changed things up. So that then Team 8 would have been the number 1 seed. But because everything kind of went
as expected.
Yeah. Basically, what do they call it in tournaments? They just went with the chalk, I guess. I can't. The expression. I'm losing. I can't think of the expression right now. But long story short, things went as expected this weekend. So it was pretty boring as far as that goes. But all the U.S. teams are looking forward. The teams that are going to the Western Clash are looking forward to proving how strong they are at Katowice, and they just want to show that they can compete with these EU teams that are typically believed to be stronger than the NA teams, and that the rivalry is real. So,
the rivalry is real.
The other thing we can look forward to this week coming up, and we'll talk about it next week when we get back, is the NA Open Division picks up again this week. All right, so we have our 3rd Open event happening. UTA looks to continue its reign of dominance.
UTA can just not compete.
It's getting to the point where if they keep winning, they could just skip the last couple of tournaments and still qualify for the Crucible and try and get a place in the HGC. Yeah. And I'll tell you what, if they make the HGC, I know we're supposed to be unbiased supporters of just the league.
Supposed to be.
But That'd be my favorite team, just because it's like a bunch of dorm kids coming on and making it happen.
Living the life, getting their college tuition. Well, assuming they win dorm, getting their college tuition paid for,
and then going pro.
Yeah,
like
that's living the dream.
So we'll see what happens.
Well, we're busy working
real jobs.
Yeah,
I shouldn't say
normal,
traditional
jobs.
Traditional jobs. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
That being said, next week's the off week for both of the Western regions. And then after the bye week, we have the Western Clash.
And NA needs this bye week, too, to prepare for Europe.
Yeah, and Europe
they need that.
And Europe can go on vacation and just, show up.
Yeah.
That'd be nice. So we'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to it. Next week, we'll come back. Maybe we'll make some predictions and throw down some bets or something.
Ooh.
Make it, spice it up.
Yeah.
ANZ HGC tournament concluded, so the Australia New Zealand region. Team Namia will represent their region in the Western Clash. They're going to be the 8th seed. I don't know how they determine how the Latin American team and the Australian team are seeded.
Why?
But they're going to be the 8th. Infamous out of Latin America is going to be the 7th seed. So
why is ANZ competing in Western Clash?
I don't know.
I just realized that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I just stared off into the distance, very confused about that, because I'm like, wait.
Because they needed an 8th team, and Taiwan and Southeast Asia are the 7th and 8th teams out of
But haven't we had Brazilian, South American teams?
Yeah, we'd have one. Infamous.
Throw another one then, and put ANZ in Eastern.
Well, then they would have to invite one less team from China or Korea.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. Blizzard, figure it out.
Yeah. Anyways, Blizzard released the format and seeding for the Western Clash.
Yep.
Round of 8 is going to start Friday, March 3rd, with Misfits being the overall number 1 seed. Namia will be the A seed, so they'll be facing them. Team 8 is the number 4 seed. They'll be facing Dignitas as the number 5 seed. Tempo Storm is the 2 seed. They'll be facing Infamous as the 7th seed. And Fnatic, which is the 3 seed, will be facing Gale Force as the 6th seed. So that'll be the start of the round of 8. And it is there'll be a losers bracket, so it's a double elimination tournament typically.
Standard Blizzard.
Standard Heroes tournament. And the total prize pool is $100K, and that's going to be split. It's a nice chunk of change considering they have a clash and then they have playoffs, and so there's going to be several tournaments with a decent chunk of change throughout the year. 100K prize pool split 8 ways, with 30K going to the winning team, 20K to the second place team, 15K to the third, 10K for the fourth, 7.5K for the 5th and 6th teams, and 5K to the 7th and 8th place teams. So everyone gets to take a little bit home. Even if you get last place, each player's taking $1,000 home.
At least it's something.
It's something.
Yeah. Does ANZ have HGC, or are they just doing like regional?
I think they do. I believe, I'm not 100% sure, but
I feel like they show no love to that region.
They're on their own. It's I believe those regions are run very similar to how ours ran last year. They're not really doing a regular season, but as more so they're doing. There's all the local little tournaments, and then they do the Blizzard. They do the regional tournament at the end there. Correct.
But looking at that that schedule, Namia has the worst luck. They have to play Misfits.
Right. So I don't know how they decide to seed it, but it's basically I guess it's because they're perceived to Namia and Infamous are perceived to be the 2 weakest teams, weaker than the bigger regions.
Well, they're only giving one team from these regions, give them a bump.
So that's what and what's funny is I agree when you look at it, it's they're probably the weakest team there, but at the same time, it's
they have to go against the Giants Misfits.
They are the only team coming from the region. It'd be nice to get to see them play for a little while.
Exactly.
Longer. So
come on, Blizzard, figure it out.
But I don't know.
We love Blizzard.
That's about it for Heroes this week, though. It's a short wrap. Next week will be even a little bit shorter, just because it's an off week. So but things will really pick up. When we have the Western Clash, we're probably gonna have to do a
Heroes-centric show.
Yeah.
Because I believe actually around that time too, Apex will get a slight couple day break. Yeah. Get ready for playoffs and everything. So yeah, but next week, we should for sure do our
predictions
for the
Western Clash, and then I could probably do both because that the last week of the Korean HGC will be decided too.
Yeah.
Well, I don't. It depends how much information we have because I don't know what other. Well, we'll see.
We're getting up at 4 in the morning and watching matches. Yeah, that's what's happening.
Anyways, I guess we can pivot over to Hearthstone.
That's it.
Welcome back!
So Hearthstone.
So we had the NA Winter playoffs, which went so much better than the EU Winter playoffs. By that I mean there were a couple DCs, but not as much as what was happening in EU.
I mean, let's just say it. Let's air out the elephant in the room, man. America doesn't cheat. You heard it here first, folks. Well, USA! USA! We have integrity! We have integrity! All right, sorry.
It was also held in South America, too.
Integrity!
So, I watched quite a bit of the Winter Playoffs. One DC that I actually had seen was between Frozen and Amnesiac, who are two of the top NA players.
So it was legit.
But they were competing from the same area, from the same location.
Okay.
And you kept seeing Amnesiac's camera freeze also. They didn't say who had DC'd. At least I didn't hear it. And you see Amnesiac's camera freeze too, so there were some internet issues happening there.
Okay.
But that was during during the Swiss rounds too, and like very early on. But yeah, not much really happening there. But we do have our winner, Dr. Jikaniki.
Yeah, I'm looking at the show notes right now, and like that's...
Yeah, I had to make sure I spelled his name right about 5 times.
And you said he did that on purpose?
So, in an interview, he said that he really likes folklore, and that is from some kind of Japanese folklore, but then he also wanted to make it so that it confused casters, and that they would always say it wrong, and I believe every time they said his name was a different way.
Guys, if you're listening right now, you need to look this up because this name is redonkulous.
You know what? I'll spell it. The abbreviation for doctor, DR, JIKININKI. Yeah.
Dr. Jikaniki.
Yeah. So
Hikikaniki.
So
I'm thinking of Greece right now. Hikikaniki right now.
So he won it.
Yep.
He actually rode into the finals with an 8-1 record, and his only loss was actually to his opponent in the finals, which was Doc Pone. And Doc Pone rode a 9-0 record going into there. The other two that qualified are Frozen and I always say his name wrong, but I believe it's Tarai. So those 4 punched their tickets to the Bahama Mamas. And but yeah, they had to play it out. There was a prize pool involved, and for seeding. So
when I think of like Hearthstone being played in the Bahamas, I just think of a bunch of people with like Ray-Bans chilling on like lounge bench, like those lounge chairs
with an
iPad,
just playing.
And like that's how they're competing for. Like,
you know what? Actually, that's how it should be. Forget having it inside.
They got like a little sunscreen on their nose.
Yeah, just have all the players out on the beach with tablets in front of them playing like that. Yeah. I'd actually pay to watch that instead of it being held inside.
I would pay to participate in that.
Well,
as opposed to pay
that too. But
it would be so much fun.
It was pretty interesting because they kept following Dr. Jikaniki throughout the tournament.
Yep.
And
it was because of his funny name.
Probably. But he was also doing so well.
Yeah.
But they kept interviewing him a couple times too. And he's same thing with Doc Pone. They're both relatively newcomers.
Yeah.
Dr. J, that's how I'm going to say it now. He said that he only started competing competitively about a year ago. And he looked really strong. When he won it, he gave a couple shout outs to people that, you know, his practice partner
helped him along the way.
Yeah, his practice partner, somebody who suggested like a couple like how to set up his decks and everything like that. But he was really good, and you saw every time he knew that he had the win condition, you know, he just like kind of like give like a little fist pump up, you know, like he knew it, and you see his opponent just automatically be like as soon as he sees like something happening, yeah, his opponent's just like, oh, you know, like they knew, and they were in the finals.
Do the tiger fist pump,
basically.
Yeah.
Like in the finals, I believe it was like less than 5 or 6 turns in. I believe in the first match that Doc Pone was like, "Well, I lost, concede." Yeah, that's how that was going down. But so Doc Pone was Dr. J's only loss, and he lost to him 3-2, so it was close. In the finals, he got his redemption and won 3-0. Swept it.
There you go.
But and I think he's still pretty young, too. But
I mean, I feel like all these Hearthstone players are pretty young.
Well, yeah, true. But
I mean, we've got Pavel and who's that? Who's that other guy over there in the EU region?
Orange or
no.
this?
No, it's the kid that was talking. They were talking smack to each other.
Oh, I don't know. Talking smack.
No, it was Twitter smack. You know, it was like I can't remember his name. He lost to Pavel at BlizzCon, and then
okay.
Then he was like talking all this smack on Twitter, saying that Pavel's not good and this and that.
Was
and
it our guy?
Hot
Meowth?
Just gets lucky. I can't remember his name.
But
right, it'll come.
Well, Hot Mouth also, like, people were expecting to see him in the playoffs. He didn't make it. Amnesiac didn't make the playoffs either.
Yeah.
Well, they made top 8, but they didn't make it into
the
actual
make it
playoffs.
To the actual, yeah.
And
they're not going to Bahama.
Right.
Mama.
And they had an interview with Amnesiac,
Bermuda.
and he's still 16, and he even
Largo.
said how I hate you.
Baby, why don't we go?
Amnesiac even said that he knows that there's times that he gets tilted that's unnecessary and that he still acts like a kid, so he has like a lot of growing up still to do.
Yeah.
But I mean, at one point he was considered the NA Wonderkin. So
what do they call it? They call it the first sign of the, like, I don't know. Expressions are hard.
Growing up is knowing you have to.
No, I was like, defeating addiction is acknowledging the fact that you have an addiction.
Yeah.
So like realizing that you have to grow up is like a step in the right direction.
Right, exactly. Right? And yeah, he was considered the NA Wonderkin. So I mean, I'm sure he knows that he has to grow up, but he's 16. So I mean, he has time.
Yeah.
So, and I don't think Hearthstone's going anywhere. So I think he has time to grow up. But yeah, so now top 8 are decided. So we just have to wait on, I believe, the Asian region. So Korea and China and Taiwan. Those areas still have to be decided. But then we'll have our tops. So I think we're waiting on 8 more. I believe it's going to be top 16. Yeah,
we've got half the field decided for the first.
But it's coming up.
Big world event this year.
It's coming up. It's in middle of March. So
I would love to be able to punch my tickets one of these days.
I would love to.
At least to go to the Bahamas.
But what's so great though about Hearthstone is that it's so much easier to get into than.
Would now be a bad time to mention that I'm going on a cruise in March, and I'm probably actually going to be in the Bahama region.
Hey, maybe you could catch them.
Like, get off the boat.
Get an interview with Dr. Gikaniki.
Right, that'll be one of our what do they call them? I've never done a cruise.
But it's like one of the stops where you go down.
Yeah, and you get off the boat, and there'll be like the Hearthstone event. You can sign up for that.
You should actually check that, see if it actually is the same time.
It's not. I know it's not, but that'd be pretty cool.
It would be. But so that's set for the Winter Championship. Trinity Series, a lot of upsets kind of happened. We have a 5-way tie now for first with Complexity, Luminosity, Liquid, G2, and Tempo Storm. G2 sits at the top just based on their games won at +8.
Seems like a mess.
It is, but because of that 5-way tie,
there's
8 teams in there. Those other 3 teams are still technically in it, even though there's only 2 weeks left. You have Alliance and Virtus Pro sitting at 2 and 3, and Cloud9, which has a bigger uphill battle, they're 1 and 4. But they're still technically all in the hunt to make playoffs, which is insane. You're sitting at 1 and 4 in last place, and you're still technically in the hunt. So we're gonna have to wait to see what's gonna happen there.
Yeah,
but yeah, I don't know. That's quite a mess there. I think they also need to change it up to
quagmire would be a good word to describe.
Quagmire of Trinity Series is happening there. It's best of 11, every match. So I mean, that's a lot of games to be played too. So I don't know what needs to change so that I mean, some people find that entertaining. I personally don't. Seeing a 5-way tie and then still seeing everybody still in it,
it's like the NFL, man. Parity.
I mean, normally you see the Cleveland Browns already out by the first week. But
fans showing up with bags over their head.
Yeah, exactly.
Week 1.
So that's happening. So we're just gonna have to wait to see the next 2 weeks what's gonna be decided there. Which at least we'll have time to talk about it more with Hearthstone going on a bit of a Heroes going on a bit of a break.
A little bit of a bye week.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's it for Hearthstone. That's it for the news too. Nice, short, quick episode.
Hey.
So
there's nothing wrong with being short and quick.
And with that,
dramatic pause.
With that, Bags, where can they find you?
You can follow me on Twitter at powerup_bags. You can follow me on Twitch, where I seldomly stream, but I would like to do that more often. I keep saying that. I'm just waiting for the right opportunity. I've got a lot of time off this week, though, so I'm sure I'm going to get some streaming in. That's twitch.tv/bags, BAHGZ. And that's it.
Yeah. You can find me on Twitter at Sean Mess and Twitch, which actually, yeah, I mean, if you're off this week, I'll probably be streaming along. We'll probably both be streaming.
Tag team stream action going on.
Yeah. Twitch.tv/squash, GHWOZZ. You can follow the show on Twitter at The Weekly Blizz and on YouTube at The Weekly Blizz. Also, please subscribe and turn on your notifications for the show so that you are always notified when the new episodes are up. You could get our audio episodes on iTunes and SoundCloud every week. And with that...
I had a brainstorm.
What was that brainstorm?
We have a Power Up Twitch channel that we can stream on.
Ooh.
For some Power Up tag team stream battles.
Ooh, we do have that.
Brainstorm,
We
baby.
do have the Twitch channel.
Hashtag brainstorm. Whenever you have an idea, it's a brainstorm, guys. Hashtag brainstorm. It's trending. I'm making it happen.
And with that, we will see you next week. See ya.
Peace out.
You know, the world could always use more heroes.